Okay guys, so for your benefit and my benefit and everything else, I'm remaking the video. I just made the video and it was 30 minutes long and did not require much editing. And so I'm remaking it because I'm not putting a 30-minute video up there. So I will start off with, this is my weekly update because I'm back to doing weekly updates. I pray. And I have reached maintenance, as you may or may have not known. If you don't know, then go look at 2 videos ago because it was pretty much a big thing. So from 470, I went down to 225, which is a 245-pound weight loss. I'm now comfortably setting right around 224, sometimes 223. I look at that being that way for a little bit, maybe about a week or so. I would not be surprised if I'm still that next week, only because I lost so much so quickly. Real quick, basically what happened was I came home from the hospital. I had my surgery on like the 14th of December or something like that. I came home from the hospital like a few days later, and so the week before Christmas, and I was like, I had reached 235, but all the fluids, swelling, all that kind of stuff put me up to 246, 247, something like that. I'm winging this off the top of my head because I don't have it written down. And I was just losing a little bit every day, and I was really excited because I went to bed on Christmas Eve, and I was like 236, and 236, 237, something like that. And I was like, okay, or it was the Christmas Eve morning. And then Christmas morning I woke up and I just was like, I'm going to get on the scale. And it was like the Christmas miracle. I was 230. And I was like, what? And then like a couple days later I was 228. And then a couple days later I was 226. And then the next day I was 25.8. And I'm like, And so, and then about 10 minutes later I took a very healthy BM and weighed, and there I was at 225. So I'm like, okie dokie. So I'm like, there I reached gold, and I made my gold video. And so, yeah, that was like, what the snot just happened there? So I reached gold. And so that's my whole goal story. Feeling good about it. Feeling good about making videos again. This camera is magnificent. It's very simple. I still have to convert all the videos like I've explained in an old video before, but I can do it all in one take really. And a program that is much faster and more efficient is able to do the converting for me. And so it really takes me about 15 minutes to convert the video, and then to edit the video, because I've gotten good with just speaking and not leaving in too many filler words, then it's gotten much better. And so now it takes me like maybe 10-15 minutes to do that, and I can process the video, go in the other room, do something, and upload the video, come back upstairs in about 15-20 minutes, upload the video, and it's not a big deal. So very good. I love this camera. It's a great camera. I am here to answer questions, be supportive, do whatever I can. I'm trying to watch videos again. I am unsubscribing to people only because I'm finding that a lot of people are just trying to sell me stuff, and I don't want to buy stuff, and it almost feels like, I mean, there's a couple people that are selling stuff, but they still like share their lives and stuff like that. And there's some people that are just selling their lives so that you'll buy their stuff. And so I'm just unsubbing to that stuff. It's just like there's just too much of it. It's kind of like, I feel like it's just becoming this thing. And I don't know. I'm just not into it. So I'm just like, I'm not selling anything. So I'm about to off my gun show. I got the gun show. I won't ever do that again, I promise. So yeah, I'm not I don't not like you guys. Like I know what Tom sells the Celebrate vitamins. I don't have an issue with that. It's not a big deal. But there's some people that are just selling like stuff that I just don't agree with. And I felt like I had weight loss surgery to get away from that kind of stuff. And I can't believe weight loss surgery people are selling this stuff. And so it's just like, I'm not going to get into it, but that's really my big issue. So I'm unsubbing from a bunch of people because people are starting to get into this junk. And then there's some people that are just, well, no, I'm not unsubbing. No, that's why I'm unsubbing people. So, and there's people that I'm just not hearing from. So I'm starting to sub to a couple more people here and there. If I don't sub to you, you want me to sub to you, let me know. I'll do whatever I can. I don't know how supportive I can be to the average, VSGer or lap bander. I think that I've got some wisdom. I'm a learner, but I'll definitely support you. Definitely 100% support you. R and Y, I feel like I could be a big help. I've learned a lot through my process. I'm not one of those guys that just sits back and just does whatever. I'm in my nutritionist's face, like, tell me why, I'll do it if you tell me why, like, what does this do for me? And so that's the way I am. I love research. It's kind of a freakish, weird part of me, but I love to read studies on stuff and take notes and creepy Staley. Anyways, so that's that. So moving forward, I had a awesome, totally awesome. I said totally awesome. I have just lost my cool factor as soon as I said totally awesome, didn't I? Devin Amber 1 says, and I read, can you snap shots of food that helped you lose the 245 pounds? And how did you build up endurance and strengths and workout techniques? Multiple explanation points. Well, Devin Amber 1, let me tell you. I don't know why I did that. I don't take snapshots of foods. I will tell you what I eat because I'm a man of habit. Crazy, creepy, weird habit. But I don't take snapshots of food. There's some awesome girls out there that do. Banded Wendy does. She takes pictures. She did a thing where for a while she took a picture of everything that went in her gullet, including liquids. I've never seen so many pictures of someone drinking a bottle of water in my entire life. So people do that, and I think that's great, and I think it's awesome. I'm just not the kind of guy that takes a picture of my food. Because I'll tell you what, if you make me take pictures of my food, I'll take pictures of my food when it comes out too. You don't want that. You do not want that. So, but anyways, I'm a guy of habits. So here's what I do. I wake up every morning. I take my vitamins. I take Bariatric Advantage. Tom, don't beat me up. I take Bariatric Advantage. My blood work has always come out good. I just have to take the Bariatric Advantage. I don't have to take anything else. So I take a Bariatric Advantage. I take a probiotic. I take a 1-a-day probiotic. And then I take an electrocentric, I said that word totally wrong. A baby coated aspirin because of my AFib. Off of blood thinners, but they still want me to have something in me. And so they got that. My surgeon approved it. He feels that the coated aspirin goes down far enough before it starts to dissolve that I'm in the clear. So I take those. I toss a Flintstone to my daughter, and then I have breakfast. My breakfast has been cereal. The best cereal, I think, for weight loss, if you can handle cereal. Now, let me tell you something. If you are a gastric bypass person, or if your surgeon has ever told you no liquids and foods at the same time, anything like that, I think some people say that the lap band that you're supposed to do, some people don't. I don't know. I'm not a lap bander. But Wendy has a rules video. Watch Wendy's rules video. So, but it was something where I had to experiment. I used to like Kashi, like Cinnamon Harvest, like shredded. It's kind of like shredded wheat, but it's not shredded wheat. I used to like that cereal, but I found that something about that cereal made me feel nauseous when I was eating it, so that was out. The best cereal, the best proteins, low sugars, all that good stuff that I could find, just to let you guys know, was Kashi Blueberry Clusters. I had like, I want to say like 9 grams of protein or something, like something insane like that. Like that's a lot of protein for a cereal. Typically, it's real hard to find something over like a 3. And so that's what I would eat. I got a little burnout on it, and then when I started training, doing more training and stuff like that, I needed fuel, and so I started switching. I switched to a Bare Naked. It's like maple energy cereal or something like that. It's okay. I mean, you just have to think it's fuel. You cannot think of it as food. It's fuel, and that's really where my mentality is. Everything I put in me is just how is this going to fuel me for the next thing, and that's just what it is. So I would eat that, or I actually switched to doing 3/4 of a cup of Wheaties Fuel. It's called Wheaties Fuel. It's like cinnamon something, and it's good. It's a little high in sugar, so if I don't do my first workout pretty quick, I'll kind of dump a little bit on it. But if I do my first workout really quick, I won't dump. And so typically I try to jump on the bike within about a half an hour to 45 minutes of eating the cereal. And so that's that. For lunch, I do the same thing. Oscar Mayer Deli Thins. You buy a little packet of it, comes in a little plastic thing. I take 6 thin sliced thing. I either buy the turkey or I buy the chicken, just the regular chicken. They have Cajun chicken too, and it has just this kind of odor to it. Just kind of I lay it out on a paper towel. The strips kind of stacked on top of each other in a row, and I take a Baby Bell light cheese, whatever flavor I feel. I buy all the flavors of light. And just whatever I feel that day, I take a triangle of that, open it up. That's 50 calories. I think it's like 70 calories for the meat itself. For 2 ounces of 6 slices is 2 ounces of meat, so you don't have to really weigh it out. I've weighed it out before, so that's how I knew. But I lay that out and I roll it up then like a burrito, and the cheese is my filling, and I eat it. And then if I have room, I will have a small, like a cup of greens, either like spinach, kale, or romaine, sometimes mixed together, and some low-fat shredded, like finely shredded cheese. I just take a little bit and sprinkle a little bit just to, it's not even enough to, I don't even think I think a 1/4 cup is a serving. If I put a 1/4 cup on that, you can bend me over, slap me in the butt, and call me Staley. Like, I'm telling you, it's just not the way. So, I have that, and then I put a light dressing on. I don't do fat-free dressing because I believe in when you use, especially real leafy greens like kale and spinach, and the oils that are in the dressings actually chemically work together to help the absorption of the nutrients. If you just, for instance, if you just pick up a piece of kale and eat it, it's not as healthy for you as if you did that and you dipped it, well, I wouldn't say dip, but if you put a little bit of like light ranch dressing, which I don't like ranch. I know I'm that one person in the world that doesn't like ranch, but a little light ranch, the fats from that actually activate some of those nutrients and allow you to absorb some of those nutrients. We're malabsorbers if you're RNY, and I don't remember all the other surgeries that malabsorb too, but I know RNY does. And so I'm going to try to absorb everything I can, but I won't put a fat dressing on. I won't put a regular dressing on unless it's just like one of those things where I'm like, oh, I got to have something. Like honey mustard, they just don't make a light honey mustard. So anyways, so I use light. If you do fat free, that's fine. I mean, that's it's okay. You don't have to listen to me. So and then dinner, whatever's sensible. So whatever's a sensible dinner. So when I'm training, I introduce more carbs in because I believe carbs and sugars are essential, just as essential as proteins when you're doing, especially endurance training. If you're going to rip it out of your body, you got to put it back in, or you're going to be really feeling it later on. And if you're trying to build muscle or keep muscle, it's just as essential as just doing just pure protein. It's I'm sticking with it, and I'm willing to duke it out. Like I believe it to the core, and I feel more energized, better every single thing than I do. If I have a recovery day, I do not do carbs. I don't do any carbs on a recovery day because, for the simple fact of, if you don't do carbs on a recovery day, when you're not going to be really pushing yourself, but maybe you're doing some endurance stuff but not really pushing it, when you do go to push it, especially any kind of strength conditioning, anything else that you would be doing, you're going to fire it up, and your body is going to burn a little bit more, but also you're going to find yourself more alert, more awake, because it fires different things in your body when you don't have those, and it asks your body to give more. And then you bring in the carbs for your recovery. And so that's that. Endurance training, so that's meals. Endurance training for me has just been get out there and do it. I'm not a couch to 5K-er. I'm not a program this-er. I'm not a program that-er. I'm not a Hal Higdon, Tony Braxton. I'm not one of those kind of people. So I don't do these kind of programs. I just do it. And I know enough about interval training, and the idea, the basic, most simplified idea of interval training is this. You warm up, you get up to a point, and then you push yourself to the point of exertion. For instance, this is the way I interval train when I interval. Alright, so we're going to try this again because there's a good chance that the batteries died. So, replace the batteries next time too. So, I'll kind of just start over with my thought that I thought I had, and we'll go from there. Interval training. So, I'll get on the treadmill, and this is how I build up endurance in my running, and build up speed and everything else, and teach my body to go faster, harder, whatever. My personal thing is just get out there and just do it. But when I do interval training, I do the first 5 to 10 minutes, depending on when I hit that first mile, is just my warm-up. And so I typically, right now, I set the treadmill on about a 2.5 incline, and I run at about 6.0 to 6.3 pace. That's what I set the treadmill on. That's my warm-up. That's just what I run. And then what I'll do is after that first mile, or whenever if I feel like, hey, I've got a good pace going, I don't feel like I'm tiring, I feel like I'm going, and I might kick it up sooner. And but I never do it under 5 minutes, because I think it takes a good 5 to 6 or 7 minutes for me to be fully warmed up in a run. And so I will then basically pump up the jam. Pump it up. Good. Oh my gosh. I'm on a roll today, aren't I, guys? So, yeah. I'll pump it up to about a 7.0 to a 7.7. Just kind of depends. And I'll do that for about the next 3/4 mile. I do it for... I just kicked my feet up like we're just chilling. Put my feet down now. Sorry. I do that for a good... I typically try to do 2 minutes to just 90 seconds of real hard pace. I do that, and then I let my heart rate come down. I always have a heart rate monitor on, and wear a chest one. And when it comes back down to about 163, I kick it back up, and I make sure that I never let it go over 175 beats per minute for my height and weight and depth and I don't know, whatever. So over 175, I'm kind of getting into the danger zone, and I don't want to push myself too hard, even though that's part of endurance training, is to just get your body to be able to withstand that kind of stuff. So But I get to that threshold and I hold it there as long as I can, and then I just bring it back down and I go back down to my rest and I let myself rest. Typically, it's about a minute and a half on, about a minute to a minute and a half off, back and forth. I do that for about half a mile, and then for the next half mile to 3/4 of a mile. So now we'll be up to about, when I'm up to about 2.5 miles or so, or no, about a mile and a half. So from about a mile and a half until about 2.25 of a mile, I just kick the tail. I'll put it up to an 8.0 to even an 8.5, or I'll do the 7.5, and I'll turn my I'll do hill intervals. So then I'll kick up to about maybe a 6 or a 7 incline on the treadmill, and just, it's all about my function, how I run, my form, everything. It's just about running for my core, all that kind of stuff. I don't do too much strength conditioning now, because I don't really do strength conditioning. I don't really feel the importance of it. I do a little bit of uppers and stuff like that. I think it's very important, though, for all weight loss surgery patients to do, especially the first year, is to do weight training. Your body will turn on itself. There's a good chance, especially for like gastric bypassers and stuff, there's a good chance that you're not getting your proteins. Even if you're drinking shakes, there's a good chance that you're still not getting the proteins. You can malabsorb those proteins to an extent. I know you can, because I was great about, I always made sure I had more proteins than I needed, and I always came up short every single time I went to the office to get tested. And so I know you can malabsorb those suckers. And so you're not getting it. And so your body's its body's going to turn on itself, and it's going to eat that lean muscle and stuff like that. You're going to get really weak. And in fact, I was starting to run, and I was starting to have knee issues and stuff like that. And we did a strength test on me and found that I was just really weak on some of my inner muscles. And so I started doing squats and built those muscles up just a little bit, enough that the knee pain went away. And so, but now I'm cross training, and when you cross train, these things can all fix themselves. When I'm cross training, I do the 3 disciplines of swim, bike, and run, the triathlon disciplines. And so when you're doing these, they kind of end up helping themselves out, because you're building other muscle that you wouldn't use, and it just kind of strengthens everything. So, but yeah, so I do the interval training. I do that 3 days a week, and then all the other days are just good, long, solid runs, working on my time, trying to beat my last time. I never just go for a stroll. I'm always trying to beat a time or stay consistent. If I go for a 7-8 mile run, then I go out and I do those runs, and I make sure that I'm trying to stay consistent. Right now I'm doing a 9 to a 10 a minute mile, and I make sure during those runs that I don't go over 10:14. And so if I watch my watch and it's saying I'm averaging a little bit lower, I need to push it a little bit harder. And so I have a Garmin that I wear, and I set it on my average pace, one of my settings that shows my average pace, and if that ever goes below 10:14 or above 10:14, I step it up, and so I bring that number back down, and so I'm always pushing myself harder, and then the next week I'll try to take that 14, and I'll try to take it down, to I don't want to go below 10:9 or whatever, and I just keep pushing myself as hard as I can do it, and so that's the way I build my endurance. Same thing with the bike. Same thing with the swimming. Swimming, I cannot swim a straight 800 meters now. I swim about every 100 meters. I need to stop and take a breather for a minute or so. And then I get back on it and I keep going. It's okay. I've got to build up endurance to do that. And so it just takes doing it over and over and over. And next time I'll push myself. It's good that I have, you go there and back is 50 meters. And so I have to go there and back to do 100 meters. So I'll go there and back, and then there and back, that's 100 meters. And then maybe the next time that I go swimming, the next night, I'll try to take that extra little quarter of a meter. And so that little 0.25 of a meter or whatever. I'll try to go that before I take a rest, and then just slowly build and build and build. That's what I do. So good question. That was a really good question. And if you guys ever have questions about food or exercise or anything like that, it's great. Right now I'm doing planking. In my video favorites, I just recently favored some planking things that I've actually been doing. So I favored those. Going, oh look, I have a visual of what I'm doing. And so this lady is doing like exactly what I'm doing. And so there you go. One day, if I feel like I'm up to it, I will do it. But I'm not always comfortable watching myself in the mirror. I don't think I have body dysmorphia issues or anything like that. It's just why I've slimmed down and I feel good about who I am. I have excess skin that I don't really love, and it is an issue for me. And it's really strange because I picked up the sport of triathlon, which requires me to wear skin tight full body outfits that you can't hide any imperfections from. So we're gonna figure that one out. So thank you guys, love you. Peace in the Middle East because of the help gas prices, mainly that's the big reason. And love you, and keep commenting on my videos. I'm going to keep commenting to you because I like you guys, and yeah, I hope you guys are just having a good week. So I know with Yehuda's death, it's been kind of a somber week for everybody, and that's why I was trying to be a little bit more joking with my video because, darn it, we need a smile right now. And if there's anybody that did smile a lot, it was Yehuda. So love you guys. Peace out. That was like me kissing you with cigarette thing.